90% of the time, it's about your personality and your attitude towards the game. If you're having fun, you're enjoying it, people are going to want to hang around. If you're playing a game just because, hey, everyone else is playing it, but you're just sitting there hating your life, no one's going to watch you. It's better off to wait a while and get those few viewers that really enjoy you than try to just have a bunch of cycle throughs that just kind of come and go because, I mean, they don't want to see you not having fun and you don't want to not have fun. Pick something you like to play and just roll with it. Eventually, things will slowly start coming. It's not a race. You'll get there. Just have fun with it.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Stream Key Podcast. It is Friday. I am Greencord, the Media Marketing Director at TRUgaming, and this is our weekly show here at TRUgaming where we help you level up your stream. You can give us your topics and questions, and we'll talk about them on a panel to help you out and grow and learn. This week, we got 3 guests coming back at the show. We have a first-time guest, which is BigFwosty. Hopefully I said that right. It always feels a little weird to say. Fwosty.
Oh, you nailed it, but okay. It does sound weird, doesn't it?
It's like frosty. So how's it going, Fwosty? How you doing, man?
It is going great. It's fantastic to finally be on the show for the first time. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. Happy to have you. Guys, he's actually a Facebook streamer. The first Facebook stream we've had on StreamKey, so I'm really excited to kind of break that down in a little bit. We're going to take some time to meet him at the beginning of the show after we meet the other 2 here, but MPI is also back on the show. He's been calling in a few times recently to talk about rebranding, so I'm sure we'll be touching on that. MPI, how's it going, dude?
It's going good, man. It's going good.
Sweet.
Glad to be back.
Yeah, thanks for being on once again.
Yeah.
And last but not least, up there in the corner with an interesting haircut is Belloc Tv. How's it going, man?
Proud of myself. Very good. Much more aerodynamic today, so feeling good.
It's very important as a streamer to be aerodynamic,
yeah,
right?
It is.
You have to be fast in water. Yeah. You really do.
Yeah, I think we got to talk about that at length today on the podcast.
Yeah, for sure. That's the main topic of discussion.
Yeah, for sure.
Got a haircut.
Cool. So if you guys have not seen the show before, this is, again, our weekly show here at TRUgaming. The first 10 minutes, we're going to meet Fwosty a little bit and see what his streaming journey has been like, what he kind of streams. Then we'll talk about news this week. There wasn't a ton of it related to streaming because the last weeks have been crazy, but we'll go through that. And then the last hour and a half will be viewer questions and calls. So you guys can call into the show to be on the show and talk about questions with us here on the TV. Or if you can't get to Discord for some reason, you can always just ask questions in the chat or in Discord, and we'll talk about them that way. First of all, though, let's go ahead and meet Fwosty a little bit. So, BigFwosty, can you just tell us a little bit about how you got started streaming, your journey, and what kind of stuff you do?
Well, yeah, I started streaming when I was like, you know what, my Xbox can connect to my little laptop through that wireless thing. I'm like, I'm just play some PUBG because, you know what, why not give it a shot? But after, a while, I was starting to get into it, and then I'm like, this whole thing of talking to chat from people around the world is the coolest thing I have ever seen. Like, I just got in because I like playing video games. I'm like, I think I can do this. And it looked like trash right off the bat, like, any first time streamer. But then after, a while of going, it just got really cool. And it's been a really cool thing, getting to meet new streamers and get into stuff like this. Like, I never imagined getting to be on a podcast or anything. Like, this is the coolest thing ever, honestly. And just getting to meet all these new people and play video games and yell into a microphone. What more could you really want? I mean, honestly.
There you go. That wireless thing is actually how I started streaming too. So that's kind of funny.
Oh, really?
To hear. Yeah, it's a little hack you can do with that. Did you start on Facebook or on a different platform?
I started on Facebook just because it was new, and I'm like, I know how oversaturated Twitch is. When you're a new streamer, it's really hard to pop out when you're. I mean, let's be honest. My whole setup was just bare bones. There was no camera. It was just the game. So I figured, Facebook's new. I got a chance to maybe like get a viewer that's not just me or my mom. So I was like, I'm going to try this. And then after a while, I started evolving a little bit. I went back to Twitch because, Twitch is the biggest thing ever. But I just really kind of connected with Facebook. And then it wasn't until about February of this year when I finally started just growing at a pretty good, decent rate. So I kind of stuck with Facebook and figured it's a nice platform. And one of my things I like most about it is the reach, because the one thing that Facebook has that all the other platforms don't is everybody's on Facebook, whether it's, most people in general, even your aunt. I mean, you can reach people that you could never reach on Twitch because you have to be a Twitch. You have to go to that website and be a part of it to be in that community. So Facebook just has that reach to everybody, and I figured that's a good perk to it. So you can kind of maybe get more viewers quicker, grow quicker. Not always the case, let's be honest here. It is what it is. But after being on it for as long as I have been, it's really been a really cool platform to be around. The people on it, the streamers are very cool. Everyone's very down to earth and likes to help everyone else out. So it's been a really nice community to grow on. The platform itself is a little, it's still growing. It's still new. It's still trying to figure itself out. It's got its hitches like everything does right out of the gates. But other than that, it's been very cool to be on the Facebook platform.
Yeah, it is a much bigger demographic than Twitch, that's for sure. Being able to hit people beyond just gamers, because everyone's on Facebook, like you said. When did you actually start streaming? Like, how long?
I started streaming late July of last year.
Okay, so a little bit
just over a year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Well, so that's a little bit of background. Oh, also, what kind of stuff do you stream typically? I can guess here based on what's behind you.
Yeah, I mostly stream Fortnite. I know it's a super oversaturated game, but I just love playing it. It's a game you can just have fun. You don't have to be that serious about. Now, I'm not. I'm an entertainment streamer. I'm not about super sweaty, like, oh, we got to get in there, leaning face forward into the monitor. But it's a game I can joke around and have fun in. But I also do like to play like Sea of Thieves, Minecraft, just random games here and there as well. I'm getting ready for Borderlands 3 in a couple months here. So,
gotcha. You're not boycotting that, huh?
No, I'm not. I can't Borderlands. Dude, I'm not going to boycott Borderlands. As soon as a little robot rolls up the stairs and go, no, you've sold me. Like one of the best moments in any video game ever.
There you go. Awesome. Well, that's a good kind of introduction to Fwosty. And if you guys have questions about Facebook, I know I definitely will have some. I think that'd be a cool topic to hit today with Fwosty on. Let's go through the news for this past week, though. Again, there was not a ton this week, but there were some interesting things. Probably the biggest thing that came out, and this I don't think was actually new news, but it got a lot of discussion this week in particular, was that Mixer announced monetization for all streamers. So this is not just restricted to partners. This is not even just restricted to some affiliate program, but now all streamers on the platform will be getting monetization through subs and embers, and I still don't understand the whole monetization system at Mixer, but basically they're opening it up to everyone. There's no ETA on the actual full rollout yet. It's just going to be over the next couple months, but they have confirmed it's coming to everyone. I posted the tweet in the chat if you guys want to check that out. But I'm curious if you guys have thoughts on this in general, just Mixer deciding to open up monetization to everyone on the platform and not gating it behind some sort of program. MPI, what are your thoughts?
I mean, where they're at right now, especially with bringing Ninja over, they're getting more attention than I think they've had ever, really. And you know, I mean, we've seen a lot of people in the True community. I've had a lot of friends outside of it who are streamers as well, who are moving over and just giving it a shot. And I think being able to go over there and try it and not have to worry about, well, I can't make money here, but I can make money on Twitch, is going to bring more people over and make it more interesting. And what I've always seen from Mixer is they want it to be a big community. They want everybody to be friends. They want it to be a tight-knit group. And I mean, it even says in the article that that's a big reason why they're doing it this way, is they want everyone to be included. So I think it's a good move. I think you might see a lot of people go to Mixer who won't come to Twitch because they want to skip the being an affiliate, because you're not immediately an affiliate on Twitch. It's not super difficult to get to, but it's not just from day one you can make money where you can on Mixer. So I think we'll still run into a lot of people who are immediately going to jump in and think they can be the next millionaire streamer just because they can immediately start making money on Mixer. So I hope that doesn't deter people a lot when they don't start making money right away, but I think it could happen with some.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, that this could actually just interest a lot of people who want to make money fast by streaming. So maybe they'll get a lot of influx of people just looking for that in the platform. Vel, what are your thoughts on this?
I think it's a really good idea. I think that Twitch should pick it up so that people will stop asking, you know, I'm on my like 49th follower, like can you spare one real quick or whatever. Like it just, like Twitch has just had like this weird surge of people who want numbers just because they think that they're going to make it on Twitch as soon as they get affiliate. And I think Mixer is cutting that out. I think it's still going to be like, oh, all I got to do is just stream on Mixer. I'll make money faster than I would on Twitch, and I'll be famous and I'll be Ninja, you know, kind of like what MPI was saying. But I think it's cool to not block it off from people just because they don't have 3 viewers or, you know, 50 followers or whatever the criteria would be on Mixer. I'm not sure what it is, but I think it's a good idea. I like it. I think that it's definitely going to pull more people towards Mixer for sure, which they can stay over there because Twitch is superior.
There you go.
Facts.
Fwosty, are you familiar with Mixer at all?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Do you have thoughts on this whole announcement?
Yeah, it's definitely not a bad thing for them to do that. I mean, it's going to pull basically every person who wants to get rich quick from Facebook, Twitch, everywhere else right over to Mixer because they're like, haha, I can make money right away. But the reality is just because you can doesn't mean you will. I mean, there's the big fact that you still got to build a community. You still got to build, even though they have those standards on Twitch, like Facebook, you have to have 100 followers to get the option to get, we're stars over here, not bits or embers over there. You have to have 100 followers and that's it. That's the only criteria to actually start getting monetized over here. But it's kind of the thing. Everyone's gonna go there thinking they can get it really quick, but you still got to build your community, even if you want the chance of even getting any in. So there's no real quick way to get money streaming. It's just, it's a crapshoot. In all honesty, you got to get the community and then hope, if that's what you're here for, hope some there's got deep pockets. But let's be honest, the reality is people are just coming to, watch streamers. I mean, there's no get rich quick. So even though they do it, it is cool. It's really not gonna, not gonna affect the streamer in general.
Sure. Even though you have the ability to make money doesn't mean you will actually make money in that situation. I am kind of curious, what are the monetization options at Facebook? Are there subs and things like that there too?
There are, which is one thing that's always kind of ground my gears a little bit because there's subs, they're randomly rolling them out. So there's people with 14 followers or 150 followers that have subs and people with 20,000 followers that have subs. And then there's people with 1,500 followers that don't and 20,000 followers that don't. So it's kind of they're trying to get it figured out. But other than that, the stars is basically just like Twitch. You buy them from Facebook and you donate them as you please to your streamers.
Gotcha. So those are the only two options besides, I guess you do donations and things to Streamlabs. And all that.
You can still do the Streamlab donations, but it's just stars and subscriptions. I like it because it's very simple. Like the Mixer thing's cool that there's inner inner website stuff, like all the extra things you can do to do things on a stream, like play a song, add an emote. That stuff's cool for the viewers, but I won't lie, I'm a simple guy. I like it being straightforward. So just like Twitch is, it's just you can donate and you can subscribe. That's really all it is. But
right. Yeah, it's kind of weird that they're just sort of randomly rolling out subs, it sounds like. Do you know if they have a plan for it at all?
Well, if I can't say it's 100% sure, but what I've been told, there's somebody that works for Twitch that now works for Facebook. It's way up top, and they're trying to help get that rolled out. But the fact that they did it randomly has really got on a lot of streamers' nerves because I sat there one day and I was like, "Hey guys, let's stream with a couple friends." They're all like, "We got subs, did you?" I'm like, "No." So it's like
not.
So it's like lots of groups. You'll be sitting there, all your friends will get subs. You're just sitting there like, boy, I wish I had a sub. Even if it was Subway, I wish I had a sub right now. But you're just kind of like, it'll happen eventually.
Yeah, I think it is. That's kind of tough in particular because subs seem like the most consistent form of revenue for streamers.
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to make that, a part-time or full-time thing for yourself, that can be tough to make it without that consistency, I think.
Yeah, a lot of us have reached out to Patreon. We have our Patreon set up. I have one as well, but it's more or less filling the gap until you get your subs because then everyone in the stream gets their badges and all that kind of thing. And they're rolling out stickers as well, kind of like Twitch emotes. So it's kind of right now they're in that slow metamorphosis process between a new platform and then a stable platform. And you just get it going, gentlemen. You got millions of dollars. Let's crank into high gear.
All right, cool. Well, that was probably the biggest thing. There were a lot of small things this week. So first of all, Vel can model this off for us. Ninja released a book called Get Good, and some of it touches on Twitch and YouTube specifically strategy. There it is. You can see it modeled there by Vel. He's reading it very diligently. Actually, during the show, he's reading it right now. He'll give us a report next week. But basically, I just thought it was interesting because I haven't heard of a lot of streamers releasing books. Especially big streamers. There are some smaller streamers who kind of do a business entrepreneur thing maybe. This is the first big streamer I can think of that's done that. So that was kind of cool. He's also done a lot of other weird things like that. He had the music album a couple months back. He's doing these different kinds of promos with Red Bull. So it's cool to see he's trying these new things as one of the bigger streamers out there. We got to zoom in on Bell now with that glorious haircut. But Vel, I mean, you had a chance to read a little bit of it. Do you have any thoughts on it to share?
So far, pretty cool. There's a lot of really basic stuff, like you should get a fucking monitor with 240 hertz and stuff like that. You're like, I already know this. And then there's a lot of stuff that's really in depth, just maneuver stuff for video games and stuff like that. It's pretty cool so far. I haven't gotten too much past just the basic very like intro stuff. Like I'm like maybe 40 to 50 pages into it. You know, I'm used to books like, you know, the Duck on the Lake and stuff like that, like we talked about last week. So so this one's a bit different.
Do you feel like you're glad you purchased it so far?
Yeah, for sure. I'm really glad that I purchased it. It's pretty cool, and I really wanted to support a streamer who, you know, is starting to do things a little bit differently, like Ninja. You know, like you were saying, not too many streamers are doing this in the first place, and I think so far it's a good purchase. And I haven't gotten to the part where it talks about Twitch and YouTube and like how to utilize like those the right way or anything like that. But I'm excited to get there.
Gotcha. I know it's an audiobook form too, so if you guys are podcast listeners, you can check that out if you're interested. So that was a small thing. There was also a small update to Twitch. Chat profile cards now show comments flagged by Automod. So again, small thing. If you click on a name in chat, especially as a mod, you'll be able to see now which comments got flagged by Automod. That's always nice. Not a huge update, but kind of cool. Reddit. So this is an interesting one. Are any of you guys Reddit users at all? Any of you three?
I do.
MPI. Okay. Did you see r/pan this week?
I saw it pop up, but I haven't really checked it out yet. But
Okay.
I saw it pop up.
I want to explain it a little bit. So basically, Reddit launched this little test. It's like a 1 week thing, but it's called r/pan or Public Access Network. And it's basically anyone with the Reddit app can stream straight from their phone, just anything. And it's all very not produced content. There was a lot of random stuff. Like one guy had his phone inside of his guitar watching Seinfeld, and that had a bajillion views. One guy was trying to see how fast he could click in an hour or something, this little click counter. But I mentioned this because even though it was a 1 week test, there was a lot of love for it from Reddit and a lot of people asking for it to be a permanent thing. And so I always like to cover live streaming sites that are popping up or new things like that. So we'll keep an eye on that and see if it sticks around. If it's just a 1 week thing, then it's not a big deal, but it'd be kind of cool to see if it does stick around, because I could definitely see game streaming on Reddit in some sense. That could definitely be a thing. Also, small things. CNBC, I just thought this was interesting. CNBC reported that Dr. Lupo signed with Reconnect Global, which is Rogue Esports, I think. They own that brand, if you're familiar with that. But I just thought it was interesting that CNBC is reporting on streamers joining orgs now. I'll post that in the chat if you want to check it out. Cool to see. Maybe they're just looking for like internet clicks and stuff like that, because people on the internet will click that. But that was cool. And then the last thing, which I just found this morning, I was testing out, is the Discord server streaming, which we covered last week, is now open to anyone with Nitro, I believe. So you can stream to your server. Again, to recap that, basically, when you do that, one of your voice chats in your server becomes a streaming room, and up to 10 people can join that and watch you stream basically in real time. It's less than a second delay, and hang out and chat with you. So that's kind of cool. If you guys have Nitro, you can test it out. We were testing in the TRUgaming server earlier. We'll probably test it later today. I know Vel got a chance to watch some of that. Fwosty or MPI, have you guys seen anything with Discord server streaming yet?
Just that it's there, and what you sent us this morning about it. I hadn't heard about it until you said something. I have the old classic Nitro from before the price went up, basically. So I can try it too and see how it works. I think the only difference between classic Nitro and current Nitro is the quality that it will stream in. If you have classic, it's only up to 1080p. If you're on the current one, which costs $5 more, it's 4K.
Yeah, I think so that was one thing with this when I was testing it, was there weren't a whole lot of options to it to customize. It's pretty much just shoot your game right out the server and that's it. And then your mic doesn't even really get used. You just sit in a voice chat and talk to people. So that was interesting. You can change the frame rate and the quality of the call. So it went up to 1080p and source. And I don't know if you said source goes to 4K MPI. Is that right?
If you have the more expensive Nitro, yes.
Okay.
Gotcha. So like I have the, I guess, grandfathered in from when they first started Discord Nitro, and it was only $5 a month. Now it's $10 a month if you sign up new. If you signed up with the newer one, you get the higher quality.
Gotcha. So that was kind of cool. You can stream at 1080p 60 at least, which probably a lot of Twitch streamers can't do reliably for their people. Vel, you got the chance to watch it a little bit. How did it look on your end?
It looked pretty good. I mean, it was just it was just standard. It was just Overwatch, and I could hear you talking, and we could voice chat and everything. So it looked decent. Nothing crazy. Didn't look like phenomenal or anything like that. But I'm hoping that they add some customization options in the future to up the bit rate a little bit and maybe increase the frames per second. Just to make it look a little bit cleaner. But I mean, for what it is, it works, and it works really well. So
do you think you would use it as someone who mostly does Twitch streaming, like as an additional streaming option or something like that?
Yeah, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do it today after the podcast is over, actually. And I'm going to play a little bit of Minecraft. I don't really stream Minecraft too much. It's like a definitely more lax game for me. So if anybody wants to hop in and watch that, they can. And if not, then they obviously don't have to. And it's not going to be anything that affects my brand on Twitch, which will be nice. Just like a little bit of extra content for, a few select people who want to enjoy it.
Yeah, I think like we were talking about last week, this is a cool way to add a little bit more of value to your server, people to be there and maybe get extra content if they want that for a limited group. It's limited to 10, which doesn't scale the best, but I guess maybe if you have like, that can just be some really cool perk you can give to like tier 3 subs or something. I don't know. There's some way you could work that in to be an exclusive perk, I think.
It'd be cool to use it for like if you know the game Jackbox or not, where it's more of a mobile based game. If it's got that zero delay, if you had played with your supporters or even your mods, if you wanted to play with them but you didn't want to stream, you didn't want to stream, you just wanted to give them that little extra content, you could go in there and play a game of Jackbox or something you could play along with them, not just them sit there and watch you. It's really good for just hanging out with them. If it's only 10 people, you can't really do a big layer stream. It'd have to be something small, kind of.
Right. Actually, one thing I was thinking about is you could probably do this at the same time as streaming to Twitch, which would be interesting in that case. Like maybe you're doing a Jackbox game and the 10 people you're playing with are in Discord with you and can watch in real time, and then everyone else in the audience can watch your stream on Twitch for the whole thing. That'd be kind of interesting to play around with.
Oh yeah,
that would like the idea for Jack in the Box though.
Yeah,
for those games.
And there's probably other games too that you can do
for
with.
sure.
Yeah,
but Twitch
another one that would be fun is keep talking and nobody explodes.
Yeah,
for sure.
That would be a good one.
Wait, is it actually called Jack in the Box? I always thought it was just called Jackbox.
It's Jackbox.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute, have I mispronounced this for 5 minutes?
I'm really, really dumb, so
it scared me for a minute. I always second guess it, but even if you do like, I don't know if you guys have ever done a sabotage stream where like someone can come in and donate you like 200 bits or whatever, and like if you're playing Fortnite, you have to drop a gun or do drop all your mats. They could come in there and be like, hey, you just donated too much, just hop in, let me know what you want me to do, and actually tell me, not try to do it in the chat where it can get lost and fall behind.
That'd be kind of cool. Yeah. Susie in the chat was watching it earlier as well. She said it was really smooth, so I guess that's pretty cool. So those are most of the news items I saw from this week. So with that wrapped up, I want to go ahead and jump into Q&A, guys. So if you have a question for us, you can ask it in 2 ways. First of all, you can call into the show by joining the Discord, which I will link right now. What you need to do is join the Discord and join a voice chat in that Discord, and then we'll add you as a friend and put you onto the call as the next opportunity. You do have to accept the friend request, and you get priority as a caller over everyone else. If you can't get the Discord for any reason, you can, of course, just ask your question in chat. I just ask that you would tag @TRUgaming so that we see it, and you can re-ask it if chat kind of moves around and it gets floated out of the chat. Just re-ask it a couple times, and we'll get to it. First of all, we had one from last week. This is from Discord. Mr. Flowers is the name. Says, I'm going to be a retro streamer playing some old games from our childhood. I see a lot of these large streaming communities that seem like a lot of fun, but I don't see a lot of retro streamers in them. I know retro isn't as popular, so it can seem kind of defeating. How do you best recommend networking in these sorts of communities? So this is sort of just playing a less popular game. I think it can be hard to network, I think, when there's less people playing that game or watching that game in general. So I'm curious what you guys think, what you would say to Flowers. How do you network as a streamer in a less popular game, especially in streaming communities? MPI, I'll throw this to you first.
I would do it, really the same way that you would network in any other game, is just get to know other people that like the game. You don't need to, obviously don't do, the terrible thing of, hey, I stream retro games too, let's be friends. Watch other retro streamers and get to know them. And as you get to know them, you can kind of privately talk to them and say, hey, I'm trying to start retro streaming. what has worked for you specifically in this more niche space. Because I don't do a lot of retro streaming myself, but I have a friend who loves retro games and does some. So watching his streams and getting to know people through that community and talking to him outside of his stream, the retro community is very tight knit, and they love to bring people in and be friends with everyone and help each other out because they know they're in the same boat. You know, they're not playing the most popular game on Twitch. They're playing a game that, you know, half the people on Twitch may have never heard of because they weren't born when that game came out. So they're playing these older games that aren't drawing in newer people. So they want to help grow that community because it's going to help them grow as a streamer. It's going to help the community get more seen, I guess, more eyes on it over time. And that helps everyone grow.
Right. Like sometimes that can be a benefit being a smaller group because then it's just easier to go to that person when there's less people around to network with. That makes sense. BigFwosty, what do you have thoughts about streaming a less popular game and networking as a streamer?
It's kind of it's very a lot like MPI said. It's kind of you get into other streamers that kind of do the same thing. You get to know them. Obviously, you don't want to push yourself on them because as all streamers hate. And someone that comes in and goes, "Hey, I'm a streamer too. Want to stream?" Whoa, let's get to know each other first, you know. But it's good to do that. Get in with discords that play stuff like that, or even non-retro game discords. Even if it's a game that's very popular, you get into a Fortnite discord. People like more than just one game. You get into a PUBG discord, a Minecraft discord, and a lot of times nostalgia is a really strong thing to, you know, lean off of. You go, I'm going to play Mario, and someone's like, I haven't seen Mario in forever, so they're going to hop in. I've seen on Facebook where there's 50, 60, 70 viewers watching those games. There's definitely a market out there, and there's definitely a community to get involved in. It's just about searching, trying to get in with Discord, see those streamers, say hi, you know, hang out for a while, get involved with them. Don't just hop in there to try to get someone to come watch you. Get involved with them, and you never know, maybe you team up for a stream someday. It could be something that you slowly have to grow, you slowly have to build, but there's definitely a community there to get behind.
Awesome. Vel, what are your thoughts for Flowers here?
I think it's obviously going to be difficult because like we've all been saying, you're playing way less popular games as far as, you know, the Twitch directory. But like BigFwosty was saying, the nostalgia factor could be huge. So if you do plan to do like a large event, like maybe a 24-hour stream in the future, try to stick to the games that, you know, people will show up to watch just because, you know, that game has like holds like good memories and you know, from like their childhood and stuff like that. I think that's definitely what you want to do as far as like for big events. You want to stick to the nostalgia factor as much as possible. And they're all correct. The retro community is very, very tight knit because they know the struggles that they're going through, and I'm sure they're more than willing to help anybody out as long as, like, you know, like they just want to help out other people who are streaming retro games.
Yeah, I think I understand the struggle that he feels here with being in a less popular game. Maybe it's hard to find communities out there. But it can also be a benefit, like MPI was saying, because there isn't as much competition. And like I've noticed with some smaller games out there, I think of like Clone Hero, which Chevrolet is into. That community is also very tight knit because there's just not a lot of streamers out there streaming it. So it's easier to kind of come together. What's everybody laughing at?
You froze in Discord for a second.
In Discord. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Hopefully the stream was not affected by that. Just all the expressions like distraught. But yeah, Flowers, thank you for that question, man. I would love to hear more from that if you have other thoughts. I think you're doing the right thing by streaming retro games if you want to stream them, though, at the end of the day. And you can grow that audience through other means and find other streamers to network. They are out there in some capacity. Cool.
Can I add one more possible idea for him? So some of the retro games that are really popular are still long-time running franchises. Think Zelda, you know, Mario. There's all kinds of them that still have games that are being made today. And you don't have to do this every stream, but if something like Zelda or the Mario franchises, even Pokemon, things like that, if those are things that you like, you could start by maybe playing the newer title once or twice a week, depending on how often you stream, and kind of remind people, hey, you really like Zelda. I'm playing Breath of the Wild right now, but on my other days, I'm playing, you know, the very first Zelda game that came out, or something similar to that. Because I know when I played Breath of the Wild, a lot of people were asking me, are you going to go back and play the other Zeldas too? Because we would love to see those. So that might be just kind of another way to get your foot in the door a little bit. If you have all of those, that's a lot of consoles, obviously. But if you have the means to do that, or you have the time and the interest in newer games as well, that could help lead to those older titles as well at the same time.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think of, so like Super Smash Bros. Is kind of that same directory, whether people still play the 64 or Melee, that kind of thing. A lot of those streamers will still stream Ultimate, being the newer game. So I think, like you said, streaming games in a series to kind of bring people in to the stream initially, and then going back to the ones that you're really going to be playing. That's a smart strategy to do that, I think. Cool.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think we have one more. Sorry, we have a caller about to join the show, so I'm going to add Spartan BL to the show to see what he wants to say. Hopefully he will pick up here. Oh, that was quick. Spartan, you there?
Hello, everybody.
Hey, man, how's it going?
Good.
Welcome to the show. What do you want to talk about today?
Alrighty. I gotta turn you guys down real quick.
You're good. Might have to mute the stream too. A lot of people do.
Alrighty. So, I've been on a little bit of a hiatus as far as streaming for a little while. And I'm honestly trying to figure out, when I was streaming, everything was kind of basic. Wasn't crazy. Wasn't awesome per se. My scenes were kind of basic. I was using, the basic themes that you can get. I was using Streamlabs OBS there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to work myself up to be able to come back. But I have all these different things that are kind of, I don't want to say holding me back, but they pretty much are, of whether I'm trying to figure out if I should just completely try to recreate everything, my scenes, transitions, stuff like that, to somewhat rebrand, but without rebranding. I'm still Spartan BL. And I'm trying to figure out if maybe I should just try to jump back into streaming without trying to fix stuff first and just jump back at it.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I should try to change everything before I try to push myself back into it.
So is it mostly branding and overlays and things like that you're concerned about before streaming?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'll throw this to Belloc first. What do you think about, should he take the steps to kind of rebrand and revamp himself before he should stream again, or should you just kind of go for it?
I would say, try to communicate to the people that still follow your social media, like Twitter, Instagram, maybe even your Discord channel. Let them know that you are going to come back streaming. Make it an announcement, make it like an event. Hey, I'm coming back to streaming this day, this time. But you don't need anything crazy. You don't I'm streaming right now with no overlay. I don't have a transition screen. The things that I do have is I have a couple of videos that I play every once in a while. And then I have some zoom in face cams, and that's pretty much all that I really have right now. It's pretty when you think about how much you can do with a Twitch channel, my channel is pretty bare bones right now. So you don't really need to worry about overlay or anything. The thing that you need to worry about is just getting the attention of the people that are still following you, and just making the best content that you can. Just having fun with it and doing your thing, and just like I said, have fun.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Fwosty, what are your thoughts here?
I would definitely say, I'd say jump right back into it. You don't need to worry about, if you do want to brand, there's nothing wrong with doing that. I myself have changed my backgrounds and stuff all the time, but I keep the same colors and the same logo. Basically, if you can do that, it's kind of a half rebrand. You can kind of change how things look, but people will always know it's you. But after you've gone on a hiatus like that, the first thing you want to do is reconnect with your community. You don't want to worry about growing or reaching out to new people right away. You want to get back in tight with the people who are there for you already. And then once you've got yourself reestablished, it's hey, I'm back to my stream schedule. Welcome back, guys. Glad to be here. Then you can kind of start getting ready to changing things. There's no need to rush it. Like I said, streaming it always seems like you got to go, you got to do it now. You don't. A week is okay. And then as long as you're keeping some kind of communication with your immediate community, it shouldn't be too bad to fall back in. But once you get yourself established, then it's no biggie to start changing things.
Sure. Awesome. MPI, you're kind of on a little break of your own with your stream right now, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah, so I've been away from streaming for like just a little bit over a month as well. I've got a lot going on right now that happens outside of the stream, and spending a lot of time on the stream was just, there weren't enough hours in the day to do all of it. So something had to give, and unfortunately that kind of fell to be the stream at the time. I think if you want to rebrand, but you're not completely rebranding, you're kind of just doing a little bit of a facelift. Depending on how much you want to do, maybe do that before you come back, because then you can make that a big event. Like Belloc said, make it a big event to come back, but also make it a big event. Guys, you're not going to want to miss this. We've got new graphics. We've got, you know, a new transition scene that's super cool, or like a new starting screen that I'm really proud of, or anything like that. Something else to kind of hype it up will help hype your community back up too at the same time. Like Fwosty said, though, I think the biggest thing is make sure that you're still connected with your community that already exists. Even if that means like maybe you only make the announcement to your Discord, like, "Hey guys, you've been been with me since the beginning. You're all, you know, like family to me, or however close knit you guys are. This is the day we're going to be back, and I want you to be the first ones to know, because I miss you guys and I want to get back with you." And then once you kind of get back into the groove of things, then you can start working on reaching out to new people. Because anytime you're live on Twitch, there's a chance someone new's going to come in. But the biggest thing, like they said, is your current community. That's the most important thing, because without them, you don't, you know, you're starting over from the very beginning anyway. But I think if you want to do new graphics or new overlays, go ahead and get that done, so that way you can hype it up, and you can even tease it a little bit with some pictures and things, and that'll get people really excited about the return. And then set a date to return and stick to that date. Once you say, "I'm coming back September 1st," September 1st is the day. Come hell or high water, you're back.
There you go. Awesome. One thing I want to add to this is what I've noticed with comeback streams, if you've been away for a while, is it seems like a lot of people show up for them even if you don't announce them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
People are just like, "Oh, he's streaming again. I'm gonna stop by and see what's been going on." So I think that's just nice, because generally you'll see people turn up for whenever you decide to start streaming, whether you do a rebrand or not. They'll be there to chat with you. Probably not all of them. I'm sure you'll lose some people, but I think you'll be surprised by how many people come by if you stream for a decent amount of time. So, and then B, to add on that, I would try to have some sort of actionable item to advertise or talk about during that stream, so that you have something to tell people if they're tuning in for a while and they want to see like what's been going on with Spartan, what's he been doing, what are his plans. Have at least like one event planned or somewhere to send people or something, so that they can kind of get plugged back in and start getting more involved with the community again. We might tip for that. But
And with that, you could even do it as like the first one back, depending on how long you stream for. Part of it could be a just chatting stream, and you could tell people why you've been gone. They can ask questions and kind of make it like a Q&A or ask me anything stream, and it becomes a discussion of where you were or why you've been gone. Or if you don't want to do that, if you're worried about there may not be people for the just chatting, so then you're kind of trying to fill space, you could do a really simple YouTube video, just like, "Hey, this is why I was gone from streaming. This is what was going on. I'm back now. Here's some backstory. If you want to know more, ask me about it in chat or in Discord." And then just make a command for YouTube or video, whatever, and people can click it, watch, get their answers, and then come back and enjoy whatever game you're playing if you'd rather do it that way.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Spartan, do you have any follow-up questions or thoughts for anybody here?
I kind of did. I mean, I might as well just throw it out there. When I was streaming, I was using Twitch. I hadn't really tried anything else. But you know, with Mixer making new strides, Facebook is definitely making new strides. I was just trying to think of like, should I, you know, go back to my roots with Twitch, and just retry that? Or, you know, with me coming back from a long time, if, you know, maybe trying Mixer or, you know, Facebook or one of the other, you know, sites out there, just trying to see, you know, if that, I don't want to say if that'll work better, but, you know, if I should try something different, or if it may be best for me to just go hey, I'm back. It's kind of a tough decision, you know?
For sure.
I got an opinion on this one if you don't mind me starting.
I was going to start with you anyway. Go ahead.
It's so serendipitous. If I would say actually right now, since you had your break and you're contemplating maybe giving something else a try, if you were to do it completely without letting your community know, if you wanted to try a new platform, you could basically have a free shot at it without worrying about like your community going, oh, well, I don't want to follow you over there. Or, you know, some of them might, because I've tried that before, but like with mine, I'd be like, hey guys, I might stream on Twitter or Twitch tonight. Facebook's down. Everyone's like, I'm not going to watch you. I don't have a Twitch account. It's like, well, fine. But you kind of have a little bit of a window now where you can actually give it a shot and see if maybe you can start a community there, and then you can come back and go, hey guys, we're back. We're moving to a new platform. I know it's a shock, but I really feel more comfortable here. And one thing that you have been saying about the whole changing and being gone for a while, the one thing I've really liked about Facebook is when I recently had my first baby recently, and I was gone for a week, and there was no, you know, I went dark one day. I didn't have to, because on Twitch, you can't, other than Discord, you can't really communicate with all of your followers. On Facebook, it's just like running your Facebook page. You can be like, hey, I'm gone. I'm going to be I'm going to be gone for a while. Baby's coming, or, you know, I'm going on a trip, or you guys, I got some life stuff coming up. I'm not going to be able to stream. You can continuously talk to everybody. You don't have to just go dark after that. It's just like a regular Facebook page. You go, hey guys, hope everyone's doing well. Hoping to come back soon. Just want to let you know I'm still alive. I'm not dead, but I will be back.
One big, you know, interconnected platform, which is something that's kind of cool about that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's definitely up to you if you want to just come back to yours. There's not, but you do have that little bit of an opportunity now where there's no expectation for you to stream on your channel right now, so you can kind of do a little bit of a, you know, dabble in something else until you're ready to either go back or completely restart somewhere.
Right. MPI, again, you're kind of in this situation. Have you thought through the same question, or do you have thoughts for Spartan here?
I've thought about trying out Mixer, and I think it's kind of the hot thing right now that a lot of people are trying, but it's also, I really like the way that, again, the company who runs it wants it to be a tight-knit community, and from the get-go, that's kind of what they've said, and that's sort of what it became. You know, I have a good friend who streamed on Twitch for a long time, and the first Mixer stream that he did, he was like, I just hit like almost the same amount of followers I had on Twitch after doing it for like 5 months. He's like, why would I not stay here? This is great. So I've kind of thought about maybe trying Mixer out. I think the way that I would want to do it if I came back and tried Mixer is to let everyone know that I'm going to try it. Say, hey guys, I've been gone from Twitch. You know, me personally, you've seen I've been doing a lot more YouTube stuff. While we're at it and we're trying stuff, let's try Mixer and see what happens, and try it for a week, a month, however long. And then if I don't like it, go, failed experiment, and move back to Twitch. Or go, hey, this is working a lot better for me than Twitch did. Those of you who didn't come along with me, I'm really sorry. You're still great people, still love you. We'll still hang out in the Discord, but you probably just won't see me live streaming anymore. So gotcha. I think, and like BigFwosty said, you know, there's not an expectation that you're streaming right now. You know, you're on a break. They know you're on a break, so why not give it a shot? Yeah. Worst case scenario, you don't like it, and you come back to what you know and what you love.
There you go. Vel, again, you kind of took a break a while ago. I don't know if you dealt with this question yourself, or if you just have general thoughts for Spartan here.
Okay. So there's advantages to starting with either like, you know, Facebook, Mixer, any other platform. But one thing you have to remember is if you're trying to do a comeback stream, it's probably not a good idea to start a new platform for that. If you want to like start like a new thing altogether, you know, rebuild a community, potentially pull some of your old community members over, then that's totally fine to switch to a different platform. But you know, if you're doing like a comeback stream, but you're doing it on a platform that you haven't streamed on before, it's not going to work out the way that you know it would if you stream it on Twitch. There's nothing wrong with it. But like they both said, there's plus sides to everything, and you might be able to pull some of your community over if you let them know in advance, like, hey, we're going to start doing this. But it all depends on what platform you think your content will be best on, and you know, the community you think you drive with the most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to add on there too that I don't think people probably think they're like there's one best platform, but really they all have the pros and cons. I would say if you are gonna still kind of think about this, like if you were to start back on Twitch, but you'd still have that doubt in the back of your mind, like, oh, maybe I should try Mixer, maybe I should try Facebook, DLive, whatever, then I would do what Fwosty said and just try out other platforms without coming back to it, just to see what it's like and get a feel for it. And then, like MPI said, you have that clarity of, okay, I tried it, wasn't for me, but now I know. I don't have that lurking question in the back of my mind. I have that out of the way. So I think go with what platform you feel is best for you, and it's just important to know that no platform is perfect. There are pros and cons to everything before you do that. Anything else to add there, though, Spartan?
No, you guys have answered everything perfectly.
Awesome. Thanks for calling in, dude. We appreciate it.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you later.
Alrighty.
All right. See ya. Cool. I saw some questions coming in. I think Vel was responding to one, if I can find it here. That was in the chat.
Yeah.
Where did it go? Okay, yeah, from Grand Pappy Plays, I believe. Said, and this, I'll throw this to Vel first because he asked you specifically. Is it better to stream a game with a lot of followers but low viewer count, or ones with high viewer count and high followers? So, should you stream a less popular game or more popular game, basically? Vel, your thoughts?
I would say like before anything else, before you worry about how many people are watching it or how many people are following that game, just make sure that it's a game that you enjoy, that you think you could play a lot of and stream a lot of, and stuff that you would have fun making content for. None of that really matters. Like if you might be really into like an RTS game, but you might see that Fortnite is getting all these views, but you don't like Fortnite. So if you go stream Fortnite just because it does have a lot of viewers, it's going to be more than likely it's going to be bad content because you're not enjoying playing the game. So I would say make a list of like maybe 5 games that you would like to stream on Twitch. See where they're all at on the directory for view count, everything. Like try to see if any of those are in the top 10. And if they're in the top 10, maybe lean a little bit more towards those. If they're already in like your top 5 favorite games that you think you could play for a very long time. But I don't think there's any like specific sweet spot for what kind of backing that a game has. I think it's more about just, do you think you can make good content for that game?
Yeah, because I mean, it's definitely a balance to some extent. But
yeah,
if you are passionate enough about a game, I'm sure there's a way you can build an audience around it. Because that'll shine through, especially if you're the only one doing it out there, because then you have a niche. Fwosty, what are your thoughts on popular versus less popular game streaming?
I mean, honestly, Vel kind of hit the nail on the head there. 90% of the time, it's about your personality and your attitude towards the game. If you're having fun, you're enjoying it, people are going to want to hang around. If you're playing a game just because, hey, everyone else is playing it, but you're just sitting there hating your life, no one's going to watch you. It's better off to wait a while and get those few viewers that really enjoy you than try to just have a bunch of cycle throughs that just kind of come and go, because I mean, they don't want to see you not having fun, and you don't want to not have fun. Pick something you like to play and just roll with it. Eventually things will slowly start coming. It's not a race. You'll get there, just have fun with it.
Yeah, I mean, and there are downsides to streaming popular games too, right? Maybe you actually get less people watching you than if you were to stream a less popular game.
Oh yeah,
can happen. MPI, you have thoughts on this?
I mean, I kind of agree with Fwosty. Like, Belly hit it right on the head, man. If you can play the most popular game in the world, but if you hate it, you're not going to have fun. You're not going to make good content. Nobody's going to want to watch it. So there's a good chance it's either going to be you constantly, sighing or just like not even talking because you're just like, I hate this game so much. This is terrible. Or it's just going to be you angry at the game the whole time, which I guess there's a little bit of an audience for that, but it's not fun for anyone, really.
Yeah.
And I think it's not a sprint, it is a grow as you grow, and everyone's going to grow at a different speed. And if you're not having fun playing the game, you're not going to grow fast because you're not getting people watching. Then you're going to get frustrated because you're not growing. Then you're frustrated that you're playing a game you hate and you're not growing. And well, then why are you streaming? What are you doing at that point? You just come sit down and be frustrated for 4 hours.
Yep.
So what's the point in doing it?
Yeah.
So I think find the games that you like. And if you have a list of games that you like and you kind of see, I want to play this very obscure game that's imported from Japan and has literally 0 viewers in it right now. maybe that's not the best one to stream. Maybe look at something a little bit higher up there. But if you like the most popular game, like Fortnite, and you enjoy that game, go ahead and stream it and play it. There is a good possibility that you won't see as much growth, because how many times have you looked at the bottom of the Fortnite directory and seen 700 people streaming to one person? Because everyone's trying to play it. But if that's your game, play it. Have fun with what you're playing is the most important thing.
Yeah. Do any of you guys have stories of trying to stream a game that you thought for some reason would be good for growing your stream, and how that affected you in the past? By chance, that could be a big game or a small game that you thought, oh, this will get a lot of people watching, this will help grow my stream. Anything come to mind?
There have been a lot of different story games that I like, and I tried them, and I was like, this is within the last 4 or 5 years. A lot of people are still, really into it on like the subreddit or on Twitter. There's a lot of people using the hashtag and are into it. I'm going to try this one out. And then I had like even less people than normal. Like people from like my core community were just like, I don't really dig this game, man. What are we doing? And I was like, I thought everybody would be here. This sucks.
Yeah, I just mentioned that because I've felt that too. Kind of what you were talking about earlier. If you get to the point where you're streaming a game that you feel like you have to stream or should stream to grow, and then you don't grow, then you sit there at the end of the stream and say, okay, I just sat here and played a game that I hate for 4 hours and got nothing out of it. That's not a position you want to be in as a streamer.
Yeah, or like during Halloween time, and I'll probably do it again this year, maybe just not as much because I probably won't be streaming as much when I do come back. All I played for the entire month of October was like spooky themed games or horror games. That was it, because Halloween is my jam. I love scary stuff. I love horror. Like, that's my stuff. So I was like, people are going to be looking for horror games, right? They're going to come out of the woodwork for these things. I was like, that was, average numbers, usual stuff that I had. Maybe 1 or 2 new people came by, but I was like, I thought there would be a surge of people that are like, yes, I want to watch somebody get the crap scared out of them because it's Halloween. And it didn't play out quite as well as I thought it would, but it was still fun. So I'm probably going to do it again. Like a horror-thon, basically, is all I did.
Gotcha. Well, that's something that you wanted to stream, though, specifically, it sounds like.
Yeah, it was just, I expected it to kind of kick a little bit more than it did. But
sure,
it's still something that I liked because, like I said, I like scary stuff. So why wouldn't I want to play scary games for an entire month?
There you go. Awesome. Let's move on to the next question, which is from David Hasselhoff. Wow, he's in the chat, guys. He said, I am struggling to get my channel off the ground. That's David Hasselhoff, really? I do have some followers, and I would like to have some advice about getting my channel off the ground. Okay, so I guess kind of brand new to streaming, getting a little bit of follower growth, but not growing as fast as you'd like. Vel, what did you say to Mr. Hasselhoff here?
Okay. One thing, and like this is something I actually kind of wanted to talk about on the last topic as well, but it pertains to literally every streamer ever, is like you might be playing a game that you really enjoy. And I know we talked about this a few times, but you might be playing a game that you really enjoy, but you might just have a totally straight face. Just please smile. Just throw on a smile. It gets easier over time, but like there's so many streamers on Twitch where like you go into like any Fortnite stream or any R6 stream, and then they're just there staring at the screen. Like they might occasionally talk to chat or something, but there's really no personality, no enthusiasm in anything. So I think just throwing out a smile and just laughing at things that are funny, like actually laughing, like not just haha or whatever, just like if you think it's something funny, let them know that you think it's funny, and if you're having a good time, express it with a smile, and just try to lighten up the mood, try to because if people see that you're having a great time and that you're being expressive and everything, they're going to want to do the same. You might even call out a couple, like you're not going to call out, but you might even pull a couple lurkers out of lurk because they just want to join in on the fun. You can, like, especially when you're down like that far in the directory, there's so many streamers that are just totally straight faced. They just want to be the next ninja and be the greatest player in Fortnite or whatever. But if you're streaming or if you're smiling and you're just showing off that you're having a good time, that'll set you way above the rest.
Just being more expressive than everyone else who's staring there doing nothing or no camera, any of that sort of stuff.
Right.
Cool. Flosty, what are your tips for someone who's new to streaming and isn't growing as fast as they'd like?
One thing I would definitely recommend, and that's one thing we really do have, like the Fortnite community is super oversaturated, but the best thing you can do is try to connect with other content creators in the same circle. Like if you play a certain game, go into other gamers' streams, watch them, get to know them, then start playing with them. Because basically, once you do that, if you ever stream together, you're connecting the two communities. So it's a good way to kind of help them grow, help yourself grow. You don't want to if you staying with the player. I can't talk. I'm sorry. If you keep playing with the same people all the time, then eventually you kind of cap out the amount of viewership you can get other than a random straggler coming through. You want to definitely keep, moving, grow your circle, keep connected with new people, because the more people you know, the more faces you can get yourself in front of. And definitely, and it's one of my biggest things that I like to do, stay energetic and on with the chat. Like, when someone comes to my channel and goes, "Hey, BigFwosty," it's not just, I'll be like, "Yo, man, how's it going, dude? Welcome to the stream. How is your Friday going, brother? What's up?" That's my normal response to anybody that just goes, "Hi, Flosty." Like it's like, I'm here with, like, you are now my main focus. You got to make sure you're connecting with people, because when people see that and they'll be like, "Hey, have you seen this streamer, dude? He's like super cool. He's like connecting with us. Yay!" It's a good way to get people talking about you, or at least people, when they come by, they'll want to come back because you're with them. So if anything, it's a good way to get your community tighter. And then when people, they'll go into another stream and go, "Hey, this guy's really fun. You should play with him." And then they'll be like, "I should go check him out." So people coming to look at you, reaching out to want to get involved with you. And then it's kind of the same thing but in reverse.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it just kind of spreads in that sense. Then if you get one person who tells his friends about you, then that's a chain reaction too.
Yep.
So that's pretty powerful.
Mm-hmm.
MPI, what are your thoughts on not growing fast enough as a new streamer?
I think on stream, just what both of you guys said is simple things that you can do that are completely accurate. Being energetic is good. You don't have to be, like constantly yelling and moving around like this and going crazy, but be upbeat. Talk when things are happening. Don't just, the whole day. Keep that smile going, even if it's not like, you don't have to, like Joker smile it and look creepy the whole time, but just like keep yourself in a positive way. Keep going and be excited about what's happening in the game. And whenever somebody comes in, don't just do the, "Hey, what's up?" Make a genuine connection. How would you say hi to your best friend that you haven't seen in like months? Would you just walk up to him and be like, "Sup?" Or would you go, "Dude, I haven't seen you. How have you been? I've missed you. What's been going on in your life? How's your Friday? What'd you have for breakfast this morning? Do you have some coffee today?" Or anything. Make something to talk about, because just a, "Hey, what's up?" That immediately stops the conversation. They'll be like, "Not much, at work," or "Not much, tired from work." The conversation kind of dies. But if you can bring up something that they have to, almost like an open-ended question to answer, it's going to keep them talking, and then you can have a conversation back and forth. It's kind of the same thing that you run into in sales of, "Do you want to buy this phone?" is not the question you ask them. It's what do you want to do with your phone? And then you get to have a conversation.
Makes
so
sense.
Building a real conversation is going to be better than just the, "Hey, what's up?" or "What's going on?" So, something like that. I think outside of that too is, maybe, are you doing anything outside of your stream? Are you on Twitter and talking to other streamers? Are you in Discords and talking to other people? Are you posting clips on your social media, or even creating YouTube videos if you're so inclined or have the time to do so? It's not only go live and hope people show up, or go live and put out the tweet of, "Live right now playing Fortnite, come watch." Cool, we see 9 million of those a day. Why is that one different? So doing something outside of the stream can help a lot more than you think that it would.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just, "Hey, I had this really cool play in Fortnite," and then throw it on your Instagram page. And you can do that once a week, even if you don't have a lot of time outside of it, and that'll help a lot.
Yeah, I think external content is the most underrated thing with streaming, because a lot of people just assume that you just stream more and you get more viewers and more growth. And that's true to an extent. But I think I've always talked about how there's a lot of value in taking time away from your stream and using that time instead to make YouTube content or Instagram content or Twitter, because those tools have much better discoverability. And that way you're expanding across multiple platforms, people who are maybe on this platform but not on Twitch. That's just huge for building growth. That's why you see, I mean, this this never is not true. Like people all the way at the top, the reason Ninja got so big, people kind of forget about his YouTube and his Instagram and how crucial those were for growing his audience. So this never stops, and the sooner you get started with it, the faster that growth will be for you. But I also want to talk about, you guys kind of all three hit on this idea that you really have to treat your viewers really well in the beginning. There's a quote that Vel had, I think in our 100th episode, about treating your first few viewers like gold. And I always think of that because all three of you guys just talked about that. You really have to give them conversation topics and be energetic and basically just treat them very well, like a great friend, like MPI said. And if you can kind of convince the first few people that are there that it's worth their time to be there and that you really want to talk to them, interact with them, then the rest will come after that. I think if you can keep that up. So just bring that back full circle there. Anything else you guys want to add on this one before we move on?
One thing that I do a lot, and I just do it off of natural habit, is when someone comes in and goes, "Hey, how's it going?" I'll look directly into the camera and be like, "Hey, man, how you doing?" So it's kind of more of a eye contact. You're talking at them. It's not just, "Hey, dude, welcome to the stream. How you doing?" You're looking over here. It's like, I think I saw someone come in, or a lot of times in my stream we have an inside joke. I die of fall damage a lot, so all people come in and go, "Hey, die of fall damage yet?" Like, "Hey, what's up, Tyler? Welcome to the stream, dude. Thanks." But then if I do it, I'll just do the. You just kind of stare at them because and they know, and together you both know that you did it. It's kind of you make those little connections that really makes everyone feel like, we're close here. It's not just you're over here, I'm over here. Mind your business, I'll mind mine. But give me all the viewers and all your stars. It's not how it works. It just doesn't work like that.
Right.
Yeah.
One little trick. Sorry, go ahead.
On top of looking into the camera, this isn't maybe something you'll see as much with like streaming, but if you're making any kind of videos outside of your live stream, look at the camera, not at the screen that has you on it. Because so many people want to look at the screen that has their picture on it to make sure the picture is right. So then depending on where that screen is, you're looking over here and I'm saying hi to you and you're right here versus staring right here and talking to you. So that's something that I think a lot of people have trouble getting used to, especially if they're in like a full screen, just chatting mode. They're going to look at themselves and go, "Oh, my picture looks good today." And then they're going to have a conversation with their screen rather than chat.
Yeah.
Right. One little trick with that I like to do is I usually put the webcam right above the chat. I don't know if you guys do this as well. But that's kind of cool because then anytime you're looking at the chat, you're looking at the camera too, and people can kind of make that connection. Okay, he's looking at us right now. Looks like Vel might do the same thing.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Pretty
Mine is hard flipped. I have my camera on my far right monitor and my chat on my far left. So when I'm looking over here, I'm reading chat, and then it's like, "Hey."
I think as viewers, like you kind of learn when the person's looking at chat eventually, but I just find that helps if you have that right there, because then you're looking at the chat every time you're looking at the camera. So it kind of works that way. Anyway,
we could go into so many tips on this. This is insane. Like,
I think that'd be cool to do like a little small tip series at some point. That are just little hacks.
I'd be cool with that.
The ergonomics of stream setup.
Yeah. Like I've even thought about something like that. Like my camera is head on. So whenever I'm looking at the screen playing games, that's what I'm looking at. So then I have to look over to read chat and then I have to look back. But then I try to like read chat and then look back and respond rather than like read chat and keep responding if I can. But I've thought about like moving it over to where my chat is, and it would be a different angle, but I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there.
Play
like
with
microphone positions and backgrounds and all sorts of stuff like that. Tips.
That was the reason of mine, because I can't get my chat on my right side, but I can't get all this stuff on my left side. So it's camera has to go here, chat has to go there. But and you get them as close together as you can. So just kind of and you can kind of little head, and you put the game in the middle, so just kind of eye shifting. It's just the best you can with what you got, and you make it work eventually.
Vel, were there any little things you wanted to add on there? Because it seems like you have a lot of ideas. But
yeah, I mean, there's like, you can tell by the way we're all talking on the microphone. It's like we're not just talking like we're just talking like IRL to somebody. When you're streaming, you gotta like project. Like you have to have that voice. So like you can tell like we all have really nice microphones, but we don't sound great just because of those microphones. Like we know how we need to talk and like how we need to emphasize our words as streamers. Like when I take my headset off, I'm talking really, really loud right now. But like when I had this on, like I talk really, really loud on stream. And I'm sure that all these people do. If they were to take their headsets off, they'd be like, "Why am I yelling? Like, there's a microphone right in front of me." But like, that's just something that you learn over time. Is you just need to project, and you gotta like sit there and like own it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like a radio broadcaster doesn't just sit there like, "Hey guys, we're gonna listen to some music today," and like you wouldn't care. You know what I mean?
Welcome to the quiet storm.
Smooth jazz.
Talk radio.
The late night smooth jazz.
But yeah, just project and own that stream and take command of it. The confidence will show and people will appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, I think it'd be cool to go through some of those tips more at some point too. But cool. Let's move on to the next question. We have a lot of questions to get through here. Okay, I think this one's from Sestriuto. He said, Facebook streaming. Let's hear more. PC only. Is BigFwosty using a capture card for his Xbox? If so, which one? Okay, there's a lot of questions here, so I'm just gonna like kind of rapid fire out to you, Fwosty.
All right, bring the rain, brother. I'm ready.
All right, so are you PC only or do you use a capture card?
I am PC only now, but I do go 2 different PCs. So if I could have and was Xbox, I would go capture card when I got to that point if I was still on it, because the wireless was just, the quality wasn't as good, and it was just a little less stable.
Yeah, there's latency and stuff in there too.
Yeah, definitely.
Monetization. When Facebook streamers get stars from viewers, how much does Facebook pay out to the viewer?
So the cool thing is when the viewer buys the stars, he pays Facebook. So when they send the stars to you, you get 100% of it.
Oh, really? So
they take their cut in the initial purchase.
Okay.
So every single star is worth a penny. So someone donates you 2,000 stars, you just got $20. There's no pull from there.
How much does that cost? Like 2,000?
I do know this. If you buy it off of PC, it's cheaper than buying it off of your iPhone, because iPhone takes a cut along with Facebook. Sense. So if you buy stars, buy them off Android or PC. But I think it's, if I remember correctly, it's like $6 for 500 stars. So it's like $1 more than you're getting in stars, something like that.
Okay.
I can't remember. I haven't bought them a lot, but when I do, I always forget. I have the memory of a dead fish, so I apologize.
Do they not take a cut on Android? I know Twitch does.
I don't believe they do. I have iPhone myself, and I know a lot of people were telling me if you have iPhone, Apple takes a cut, Facebook takes a cut, and then you get your stars. So I'd recommend buying them off PC if you do go that route.
Yeah.
So it sounds like there's like a little bit less than 20% upcharge on it.
Something like that, yeah. I said I can't be 100%, but
it sounds similar to Twitch, more or less. Okay, badges, top fan, and so on. Do those do anything more for viewers besides telling you viewers who's veterans on the channel?
Not so much. The top fan badges kind of stay the same. You have followers, top fans. I think it's milestone follower, and then the supporters do get the +1, +2, +3 for every month you do subscribe. That's the one that slowly does evolve.
And those are just little badges in chat for profiles, right?
It's just like in Twitch, except it's right next to your name. It's just a long list of them. I think I've seen something like 6 badges before. I was like, good golly.
One thing that's cool about those I've seen is they're there also for the regular posts, like you were talking about. So if you just put a status post out, then people can still have their top fan badge. That's pretty cool.
And it does let you know as soon as you become top fan, you get a little notification, you can accept it and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a nice little moment for the viewer.
There you go. Slobs, so Streamlabs OBS versus OBS. Which is better for Facebook streaming if they interact?
They both interact just fine. I actually used to go Slobs or OBS, and then I just got curious. One day I wanted to try Slobs because everything's integrated. It's got the chat, all the notifications, everything. And I like using Slobs lately. The only problem is a lot of like overlays don't have stars yet or certain things for Facebook, but everything does work through Slobs just as well as it does through OBS.
There you go. And he just said, anything else you want to mention for Facebook?
I mean, other than the fact that the reach is really good, and the fact that you can stay immediately connected to your community. It's kind of like Discord inside of your own streaming platform. You don't have to have a Discord to talk to them. You just make a post, go, hey guys, I'll be streaming at 8. Enter. Everyone knows you're streaming at 8. So it's kind of nice because you can immediately tell people things. You don't have to make a YouTube video. You don't have to make a Discord post and hope everyone's in Discord. All of your followers will see your post if you make one on the page. Plus, it does send out a Facebook message. When you go live, every one of your followers gets a notification saying, hey, BigFwosty went live. So you kind of immediately let everyone know you're there.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
And they just, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. They just added a thing too, where if you've been streaming for a while, they'll send another notification saying, hey, BigFwosty's still live. Go check him out. So it kind of it's a reminder. If you forgot, he's still going.
Interesting. I don't think
Yeah.
Twitch has that at all. It's pretty cool. Okay, Seth Trio, thanks for the questions, man. Appreciate those. Getting some more info on Facebook gaming. Okay, so next question is from Ivy Games, who said, as a new streamer with limited free time, would it be more beneficial to network with other streamers on Twitter and Twitch, or make additional content on YouTube, etc.? This is interesting. So if you had to choose between spending your time networking in Twitch, Twitter, let's say Discord too, versus making extra content for YouTube and Instagram, which one would you guys choose? If you you just don't have enough time, you have to pick one of those things. MPI, I'll throw this to you first.
Oh, that's tough. Man, I get.
And remember,
I would
it's
say
as
content.
a new streamer specifically.
New streamer specifically. Maybe content.
Okay, why is that?
Because I think content. If you're making videos on YouTube, you're gonna get that community that watches games and watches those, and they'll see, oh, you know also live stream. I'm gonna come check that out. And if you're making videos for YouTube, you can easily make a clip for Instagram at the same time. And when it's on Instagram, that's a smaller form of networking. And you're using the hashtag, you'll get people that come and check it out. And then if you're on your break at work, instead of reading a news article, scroll through those hashtags, and you can make some comments and kind of get both in there at the same time. But I think getting your content in more places is going to be the biggest thing, because I can put as many tweets as I want that say, hey, I stream. But unless I have a reason to come to the stream, it's not going to matter. But if you have those YouTube videos or 30-second clips for Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is, you're getting more people to see what you do and come watch you. It's the same thing of if I had to choose between making like a portfolio or emailing people that, hey, I create videos or I edit photos. I don't have anything to show for it, so why would they come check it out?
Gotcha.
So I think it's kind of a content is the best thing, because it's going to give you the best of both worlds, but it's more time consuming to create those YouTube videos than it is to post them.
Yeah. Okay. So you choose content. Fwosty, would you choose networking or content creation as a new streamer with limited time?
New streamer with limited time, I would agree with content. Networking is something you kind of want to do whenever you can. Like for me, it's just simply is going into other people's streams and going, hey, what's up? How you doing? Talking to them. But personally, I don't have a lot of time to do it. So I mostly just stream and get the occasional clip out on Instagram and Twitter. That's the most I can do, because with how busy you got a lot of stuff going on. Do the best you can, but you got to focus on what's more important. Me, it's getting out to actually stream. Other people might want to go, look into meeting people. Meeting people is great. Like I said, that's a really good way to grow, meet people in your community that you want to connect with, but it's a lot more time you're putting in to get stuff back. I'd say go for content over networking, especially if you're a new creator. Get your footprint down, get yourself established, and then worry about getting out and, connecting with other people.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Vel, what would you say for this one?
This is tough. Like, I agree with everything that they just said, but at the same time, one of the worst things to do is to have content and no community to enjoy the content. So as much as I think networking is important, like having content for those people that you're trying to connect with is just as important. You know what I mean? Like I guess for me, I would say like there's really no reason to choose just one. You know what I mean? Like you could do one week and then the next week focus on the other thing. Because like you can network all day, but if you don't have content for those people to watch, it doesn't matter. And you can make all the content in the world, but if no one's watching it, then you're just wasting a bunch of time doing that. So yeah, that you gotta have both. You have to have both.
You're torn.
I like the idea of alternating. That makes a lot of sense, especially because you could. I mean, if you're wanting to do YouTube videos, maybe do like one a month, and the rest of the time be networking around it. Because if it's one a month, that's going to be a fairly substantial amount of editing, probably, just because it's a lot of clips. But you make the one video, you take a few days to do that, you put it out there, and then the rest of the time you're kind of promoting it and networking with it.
Right.
I like that a lot.
Vel, if you had to, like, this is obviously a hypothetical question,
Right.
sort of, but if you do have time to do both, which would you spend more time doing?
Okay. I would say for a new streamer, I would say networking, just because you can always just make more content later, but it's hard to get your name out there. It's really hard to get your name out there, and content could help you do that. But at the same time, like going stream to stream and trying to make friends and connect with people in that community, like to later on enjoy the content that you're trying to put out, I think would be the best bet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, again, this is a hypothetical situation, but I would actually, for this question, lean towards networking, because for someone who's new to streaming, you're still learning a lot about streaming overall. And so I think, while I do talk a lot about how important it is to start YouTube and Instagram and these things, I think if you're just getting started with streaming, you don't want to overwhelm yourself and get way too stressed out by trying to learn 3 platforms at once and get content to all these platforms at the same time, versus really getting to know this one platform first, and then once you feel comfortable with it, you can expand to other platforms with new content. Because probably you guys can attest to this, it takes a while to learn the platform that you're working with, because you guys have been working with Twitch or Facebook for some time now, and you probably feel pretty good about it. Whereas even now, some of you guys who do YouTube content are still learning a lot about YouTube, I would say. So I think it makes sense to kind of go in like a stepping stone order. You start with your streaming platform, then move on to YouTube or Instagram, and then the other one. And then, so networking is really important because you can start to build up a little bit of a name for yourself and just meet people. And also, you can learn a lot of things from other people you're networking with, especially if you're networking with people who you consider to be a little bit better than you. You can kind of see what they're doing differently with their stream, what can I take away, what are some ideas I can use. And I think that's personally the route that I would go with. But I mean, obviously, they're both very important. That's just what I would say for a new streamer in particular, not to get overwhelmed by that.
And maybe if you're wanting to try to get both accomplished at the same time, you can export an entire live stream to YouTube. And it's not the most exciting thing, but if you're worried about you're not putting anything there, maybe just export it to YouTube and go ahead and put it out the next day. So that way it's there, and make sure that you put a little bit of time into the tags. So that way it's searchable and people can find it. Or Twitch does have the built-in highlight creator that it takes a little bit of time, but it's not as in-depth as creating a whole video in an editing software. So that can kind of let you get a little bit of best of both worlds if you're very limited on time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's something to be said for if you just want to get something out on a platform, you can do something that takes very little time and just see what happens. I would still kind of shy away from that overall, though, because I know personally I have almost never watched like a live stream VOD on YouTube. I don't know if any of you guys have, maybe, but it's just not something I would watch, and I think most people wouldn't either. So just like to play devil's advocate, I feel like you're gonna be better served if you kind of build up a community first, and that way, once you do launch to YouTube or Instagram, you have a bubble of people to send there to kick it off, and then you can grow more of an organic and native audience to that platform afterwards. So this is just my thoughts, and again, they're both very important, and they're both very good things to do. But if you're brand new, I would start with networking. Wait till you kind of are confident in your stream and you have a community to build on, and then you can add more content there. Because it's going to take a while to figure out what type of content you want to put on each platform too, I think. And I know you guys have probably been through that experimental process with your stream of trying to figure out what you want to stream, but then also with YouTube and Instagram, what content works, and you're making adjustments all the time. So anything else to add to this question, guys? Good. Cool. Thank you for the question. That was again from Ivy Games. Very cool one. Next question is from Erie Kular, who said, how did you deal with playing BR with people who are competitive? How do you deal? But are bad and won't allow the comedy of the struggle to make it a better experience. So basically, how do you deal with people who are really sweaty and don't react well to doing badly? I'll throw this to BigFwosty first, since he's the resident BR streamer here. Do you ever deal with this?
You know, I play with a lot of really sweaty people. Like I've started playing people that are really good because I need people to carry. I'm a bot at this game. I will not lie. I have my moments, but that's about it. But the one thing I've never really ran into someone that doesn't. I can't say in streaming I've ran into someone that can't take the comedy, because that's what I try to do. I try to find those people that are like super sweaty and get frustrated and be like, hey, hit your shots. And I'll poke at them and be like, come on. And they know I'm having fun though. And eventually it does kind of start to lighten up the mood. They start to lay it off. But I have played with people who just can't seem to not take it seriously. And I won't lie, as sad as it does sound, I've kind of distanced myself a little bit just because I'll play with them on the side occasionally. But if you can't get them to kind of bring up their attitude, eventually they're going to start bringing you down, and you don't want that yourself. I mean, I'm not saying don't play with them, but maybe it's okay to find a couple new people to play with that, you know, can have fun and enjoy the game, because you want to have fun with the game. You want your friends to have fun with the game. You don't want to hop on and be like, I hope they're not upset already today, or this would be a long night.
Kind of like cringing as you click that join voice chat button there.
Exactly. You hop in and you go, dang it, I'm sorry I hit that shot. And you go, oh, sorry, my dog, my kid's barking, I gotta go. And then they're like, you're trying to get out of there as quick as you can.
Well, and I'm sure it takes a while to find those people who are a good kind of match with you to stream with, right?
Yeah, and I mean, you could always just say, hey, listen, you guys, I want to keep playing this game, but you need to just chill out. Like, either get good or just realize the fact that we're all going to be bots, get in a mech, and we'll be fine. I know, I'm pretty sure I saw this down there talking about Apex. Apex is a very sweaty game that is a lot harder to have fun with. Like Fortnite, you can do the dances, you can just be a complete goober the whole time if you want to. Apex is a lot more sweaty and a lot more serious. It's all about just finding people you can connect with then if you're having troubles.
Gotcha. Let's throw us to Vel next, because you do R6, which definitely has a lot of competitive side to it as well. What are your thoughts on this one?
If I'm playing with people who are just being kind of negative and are, you know, like we all try to sweat, we all try to, you know, like win games and get kills and everything, and you know, we, you know, bust each other's balls, you know, when appropriate, like, you know, hit your shots like he was saying. But if there's somebody who's just kind of like changing the attitude and like the overall vibe of the stream, or, you know, the game that we're playing, you know, I'll usually, like, I've ended streams early pretty recently, just because, you know, the vibe was getting to a point where like I didn't want to blow up on this person on stream, because like they're being really, really negative. And like, as much as I want to call them out, I'm not going to do it on stream. I'm a huge advocate for, you know, punish in private, praise in public. So what I do is I'll end the stream early and I'll DM that person like, hey, you need to get on board with like the chill vibes, or play with other people. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, I don't have time for people to sit here and like ruin the positive vibe of my stream and the game that we're playing. So you got to shoot them a DM, you know, like have an actual heart to heart with them. Don't be an a-hole, you know, but just like get to the point. Don't try to like beat around the bush at all with it. Tell them exactly what's going on in a very nice, polite way. But if they don't work out, they don't work out. You got to do what you got to do to keep the hype and keep the positivity going.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Gotcha. MPI, do you ever deal with this on your streams at all?
Not really. The most competitive game that we typically play on my stream is Dead by Daylight, and usually that's more people are. It's less competitive because there's not really a winning or a losing side in the game. There kind of is, but there's kind of not at the same time. No matter what, you know, you're gaining experience. You're still leveling up whether you win or not. So it's not something we deal with as much. But I think the way that Belloc put it is right. If it's something that it's a good friend and you can kind of like, you know, poke them a little bit and kind of give them a hard time, maybe they'll realize that they're being a little too salty that day, and they're gonna kind of, you know, go, oh man, he's making fun of me a little bit. I'm getting a little too real. Maybe I need to pull it back a little bit. And if that's not something that happens or they can't handle it, whenever you end your stream, I completely agree. Talk to them. It's like, hey, you know, like whether they're your best friend or someone that you don't know well, just, hey guys, this isn't how we really run the stream. And it's not that I don't want to play with you. It's not that I don't like you. It's that I don't think it's going to fit on the stream. So maybe if we're going to play together, we need to do it off stream. Or if they stream, maybe we need to do it on your stream where you do rage and you throw a fit, where that's not my thing on my stream. Mm-hmm. So it's not something that I've really dealt with, but I think just being direct with them and just having an adult conversation of, hey, I don't think this is this isn't working out this well. We kind of need to readjust if you're going to continue to play with us on stream. Just I want you to know, because you're my friend, I respect you, but maybe it's not going to work out with you being on the stream constantly, because you're bringing me down, which is going to bring the stream down, and that's not going to work.
Yeah, it seems like one thing you guys all agree on is you have to address it. You can't sort of just let it go or ignore it, and that's like not easy to do a lot of times, but ultimately, if you don't address it, it can hurt your stream. So I think that's important to mention as well. You don't want to get dragged down by that one person in voice chat or in the game who's kind of ruining the experience for everybody else who's watching or playing. So cool. Thank you, Erie Kulad, for that question. We'll move on to the next one, which is the Duero Scholar. Guys, I think we're wide open with questions and calls now too. We got about half an hour, so getting close to the end here. If you have questions, now's the time to ask them. Just at TRUgaming. This one again is from the Duero Scholar. He says, one of the most hyped games is going to hit soon, WoW Classic. Lots of people expect huge numbers of streamers to stream this. Any strategies for such hyped games? Should you ride the hype and play it when it launches, or should you play something else to attract viewers that don't want to see the hype game? Interesting. So he's talking about WoW Classic, but it's kind of related to any hyped game here. Do you guys think when a big new game release is coming out, you should take advantage of that and try to stream it and maybe hit it from a different angle? Or should you use that as an opportunity to stream something else? I'll throw this to Veli first. What are your thoughts?
Okay. I think if it's a game that you think you're going to stream a lot anyways, go for it. Like it might be difficult at first, but you'll be like steps above the rest who didn't decide to, get on the bandwagon earlier. There's like, it's going to be difficult at first because the hype is going to be real. There's going to be a lot of people streaming it, a lot of big streamers. Like people are probably going to go watch Tim the Tatman stream it quite a lot instead of, like the person with somewhere between 0 and 6 viewers or whatever. But eventually those views will start to trickle down, and maybe you'll be able to pick some of those up. And if it's a game like I said, if it's a game that you want to play and you want to stream anyway, then the views won't really matter as much. You know what I mean? So if it's a game that you really want to play and you think you make good content for it, I'd say go for it. And if you think that you'd rather stream another game instead, then I'm sure that there will be a lot less streamers playing, that specific game on that day.
Fair enough. Flosty, what do you think about streaming hyped up games versus streaming something else?
I mean, it definitely, the biggest thing is you're going to have your audience and how many people you have that actually want to watch that game. It's going to be the first hit right there. Just because you stream it doesn't mean you're going to immediately get an influx of everyone's like, oh, no one I know streams it, because everyone's going to probably start streaming when it first comes out. But Belloc's right. The trickle down effect will happen when people are kind of either, one, they can't turn that into an entertaining game and they aren't that good at the game. They're just an average player. Their viewers might start wandering away to try to find maybe a more entertaining viewer. Like Tim the Tatman's probably going to be great at it, but he might also take a hit in viewers from it, because WoW is a very grindy game. It's kind of sitting there a lot of wandering around, just doing little quests, which some people love. I personally have never played WoW too much, but I'm definitely going to be watching it, maybe get into it. But it's one of those games where people are there to watch him play Fortnite. They're not going to watch him play WoW. It's just how the whole streaming thing goes. People want to see things, they're going to find a way to watch it. But when the trickle down does happen, if you're still doing and you're entertaining and you're good at it, or any of the above, you could definitely get an influx of viewers at that point. Right off the bat, don't expect a lot, but keep grinding if you're having fun. It comes down to the initial point. If you enjoy playing the game and it's oversaturated, eventually you will get a little bit of a kickback from it because you're entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
So I'd say definitely try it if you want to.
Sure, absolutely. It's kind of what we were talking about earlier. Like streaming a game that you're passionate about is really important versus a game that on paper looks like the perfect game to stream, MPI, do you have thoughts on streaming hyped up games? Are you interested in WoW Classic at all?
I'm interested in WoW Classic, but I know that I won't play it. I've constantly started WoW. Like, I don't know how many times I've picked it back up, and I play it for a month or two, and then I'm like, why am I paying $15 a month to play this one game? And my groups always fall apart. Like, I get a whole group of people that are real hyped about it, and they're like, yeah, let's play. And then we can never line up schedules, or people get bored and fall off, and then I'm playing quests by myself. I'm like, well, I could just go do this in Skyrim or something that doesn't cost me $15 a month.
Right.
But if it's a hyped up game that you're going to play no matter what, go ahead and stream it. It's the game you want to play, so why wouldn't you? But I think it's also if it's something that has a build-up, like let's say Borderlands 3 is a big example. Play the first two to lead up to it, because those older games are going to start seeing people trickle into them because they're hyped for the new one, and they want that content when the new one's about to drop. And then when the new one does drop, you've got, oh, I played the last two. Those people have followed you through the story. They're going to want to follow the new story with you. And sure, you'll have some people who will drop out and go watch someone who maybe they normally watch, or one of the bigger guys that they normally watch, just because they weren't playing Borderlands and now they are, so I can go watch it. But kind of ride the hype train before it's already at the station. Hop on at a few stations before the current one.
Right.
With WoW Classic, people are going to trickle into WoW Current, and whatever's there now, play the current content and then hop into Classic when it drops.
Yeah.
So I think it's good to kind of start building into it instead of just diving into the newest thing.
Right. I think if you're really excited about one specific game launching, then that's a great strategy to have a ramp up in terms of you're playing prequels. Maybe you're making extra content on YouTube and Instagram, things that people are looking for related to that game. Maybe your branding is tied into that game. You see this a lot with like Kingdom Hearts streamers when that game came out. If you've been playing a game for a long time and there's a big release coming out, then it just makes sense to stream it. But if you're kind of on the more side where you just want to stream a bunch of new games as they come out, that's hard to do because you can't just kind of change your whole thing for each new release. And I think there is something to be said for being a variety streamer. If you want to be like the guy who plays the new game when it comes out, you can maybe build a brand around that. But I think generally what you guys said, I agree with. If you want to stream something, you should stream it and not feel like you can't because whatever, the Twitch rules, the Twitch guidelines say you can't. Of course, there's a balance. Like if you're at a point where you're depending on your stream income to live or whatever else, you have to take some of those things into account. Like maybe viewership's very important for you. But generally for most people who are just kind of like part-time or hobbyist streamers, I think may as well go for it because either it won't last forever and you'll get back to your regular stuff, or it will last forever and then you better start now if you want to keep doing it. So good question though. That was from Duero Scholar, who I think does Lord of the Rings online stuff. So maybe that has some connection to WoW Classic there. You can see that. Anything else to add on this one, guys, before we move on? Nope. All right. Moving on to Eerie Cooler. I think Cooler is how you say that in chat. Another issue I have is listening to my streaming friends being more focused on views to the point where after 30 minutes, if there isn't a boost in views, they'll end it. Interesting. So you have friends who are streamers who 30 minutes into a broadcast, there's still nobody watching, or you're losing viewers and figure they may as well just end it because it's a failed stream. What do you guys think of this? I'll throw this to BigFwosty first.
I mean, not to sound too aggressive on this one, but they're going to jump to Mixer right away because they can get and they're thinking that it's going to happen. Like I'll have Nitro, I'll be streaming to 30 people. I'll be streaming to 3 people. It's just, if you're not there to talk to your community and just hang out and have fun and chat, and you're there because I need more, there's got to be more viewers, you're done, dude. You're just done. Don't sit there. Don't complain about viewers. Don't complain about I haven't gotten stars. I haven't gotten bits in 30 days, 40. Just go play games and have fun. If you're like trying to go and be like, I haven't gotten a follower in 14 minutes. I'm done. I'm canceling this stream. It's like all the viewers are like, so you don't really care about the game or playing with us. You just care about growing. We're just another notch in your belt, basically trying to say without us, you don't really care once we get here. You just want more. You need to connect to your community, become part of it and have fun. Just yelling grow is not going to happen. It just doesn't work like that.
All right, Val, do you have thoughts to add on this one?
I totally agree with what he just said. And actually, Eerie just confirmed that they actually do stream on Mixer.
Oh.
That's where this is all happening. So hit the nail on the head. But that's true. Is like, like stuff like that, where what words with the instant, being able to make money, it does attract that kind of person to where like they don't really care about the content. They care about the growth of their stream and how much money they're making. And that's exactly what it seems like. If they're ending their stream in 30 minutes because they don't have so many viewers, they should probably just stop streaming altogether because they're just never going to be happy. Because like if you're streaming for 30 minutes, you're not going to grow. at all. That's not enough time to get anything. That's you. Some people have an intro for 30 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Well,
that's insane.
Right. So if you're in this situation and your friends are doing this, how would you
Right.
respond? Would you say anything, or what would you do there?
I would not stream with those people, to be honest. I try to surround myself with like-minded people who want to just make good content, play games, and just have fun, as opposed to worry about numbers and paychecks and all this stuff. Surround yourself with people that have the same goals as you, because if you're around people who are making content just for the sake of trying to make a dollar off of it, you don't really have as much competition around you. Whereas like if I were to stream with either one of the people here, like we would see how well this person is doing, like how good their content is that day, and like, oh well, I need to step my stuff up, you know what I mean? Like I need to make my stream better because they're doing it. And it's just like this constant evolving, like humble, friendly competition if you surround yourself with the right people.
Right. Absolutely. MPI, if you're in this situation and your friends are doing this, how do you respond?
I think it, and I see in chat that they brought up, they try to tell them like, hey, don't worry about this. Keep focusing on the stream itself, not the numbers. I think you can do that for so long, but as soon as they, if you do that for a week straight or even a month or something, if they're like that close of a friend and they completely ignore it and keep doing the same thing, be like, you know what, man, that's cool. We can have a relationship outside of streaming, but this ain't going to work.
Yeah.
It would be like a movie coming out and being like, we didn't make $60 million in the first weekend. Pull it from theaters. Completely forget we made this film. Like, it's not always going to happen right away.
Right.
And I think if you're friends with those people and you're close with them and you want to kind of keep trying to like encourage them, like, hey man, that's not how this works, and you're that good of a friend, then great. You're a great friend. And I applaud you for that. But at the same time, sometimes you have to look at it and almost cut ties with them on the streaming side.
Yeah.
Hey man, like I don't want to be part of that. I'm not going to be around your stream. We're not going to stream together. We can still go out to dinner together. We can still grab beers together, but I don't want to stream with you. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to be in business with everyone. You don't have to stream with everyone all the time. That's not going to work for anyone. Their stream's not going to grow. They're not going to help your stream grow. So on the stream side of things, I would say kind of just let it roll off your back and move on from where they're at, because they're not going to move forward and they're going to hold you back.
Right. Yeah, I think this is a tough one for a lot of reasons. I think if you're trying to have someone else improve, like I understand if these are your good friends you've known for a long time and you just like stream with your buds, but like when they're streaming, they're just not who you want to be streaming with. I get that you want to have them to improve, to be better to stream with so that you can stream with them. But it's just like the same thing within video games. If you're trying to teach someone or tell someone how to play better or something, some people just are not going to be receptive to it and are not going to want to take any advice you're going to give them. And it's just sort of a lost cause. It's the same thing with streaming, right? There are some people that you could tell them, I've kind of been there. You tell them how to improve, like things they need help with, and they just don't listen to it and don't make any changes. At some point, you just have to stop trying and focus on yourself, because there's nothing you can really do for that person. And all your help is not really going to make a difference, versus either just focusing on yourself and improving yourself, or like Vel said, just finding new friends to stream with who are a better influence for that specific reason. And then like MPI said, you can still do other things with those people. Maybe even you're in their streams. You just don't have them in your streams is the difference moving forward. So hopefully that's helpful. Did you guys have anything else to add to this before we move on? Go ahead, Vel.
Yeah, I will say that I think you should try streaming solo. And because depending on other streamers is kind of rough. Like it's fun and like you can make really good content out of it. But primarily I think you should try to solo stream and just try to see how you are with that, because it doesn't give you anything to fall back on, and if you might end up really, really enjoying it. I know there's some days where people want to join in and play R6 with me, but I'm really just feeling a solo queue. You know what I mean? Where, like I don't have anybody in the Discord to talk to or anything. It's me, chat, and Rainbow Six Siege, and I have to do everything myself. But that's kind of fun sometimes. Like if you're just in that groove and, it's nothing's keeping you from talking to chat. nothing is super distracting, and you're forced to create content. And I think that's a really good challenge to be put through, and it's also really fun just to see what kind of streamer you really are.
Right. Yeah, once all the crutches are out of the way, like you said last time, right? There's no music, there's no chat. Just it's got to be you talking to people.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's pretty powerful. Flosty, anything else to add on before we move on here?
Yeah, just a lot of the dream of every streamer is to be a full-time streamer. That's the dream. You want to live your life, playing video games and streaming. But the fact of the matter is, to get to that point, there's a business side to streaming, which it's a lot of times it's hidden. It doesn't have to you shouldn't let that overshadow your gaming. You should be you all the time. Don't put on a face and force yourself to try to make it because everyone's going to see through it. You can't stream for 4 hours and pretend to be people. But when I first started getting traction and taking off, I just swear occasionally on stream. I'd just be a dingleberry sometimes. But when I decided to change it and go PG, some of my friends refused to do that. So at one point I just had to say, guys, listen, I need to start playing with some other people. I want to grow that. I want to do this. Like, this is my passion. I want to get this to take off. I have to start doing some things. Some of them took it well, some of them didn't. But a lot of the time there's that envy, jealousy, and drive are three very similar emotions. And if you can't control them, someone's going to take it the wrong way or, not like that. But at the end of the day, if you're straight with people and say, listen, I want to do this, I want it to go this way, you guys, if you can't adjust to it, I can't really keep streaming with you. We can play offline and, live our regular friend lives. But when it comes to streaming, I got to do things differently.
Yeah.
And then if they can't understand it, it's on them at that point. You were straight with them. You told them how it was. You didn't say you wanted to be unfriends with them. But if they refuse to help you, it's kind of a give and take thing. If they don't want to help you at all, then it's hard, but it's the facts.
Yeah, and those are hard conversations to have, but they're so important to keep growing your channel past that obstacle, basically.
Yep.
Cool. All right, thanks for that question. That was from Erie Cooler. Okay, guys, so it is 12:45. We have about 15 minutes left. This is the last call for questions and calls. If you want to get something answered, just ask it in chat right now, or we have maybe time for one caller if you want to call in. Real quickly, I want to talk to BigFwosty about just general Facebook stuff again. I think, can you kind of talk about maybe why you chose Facebook over other platforms and maybe why people should consider Facebook more? Because I think we don't hear a lot about why you should consider Facebook very often.
I will lie. I've heard the word Facebook on your show once or twice, I think, in the year plus I've been listening. So I know it's definitely kind of a new aspect. But the thing about Facebook that I liked when I first started is it was new. So it wasn't oversaturated yet. So I'm like, I can shoot right to the top. That didn't happen. But spoiler alert. But after being here for a while, the one thing I really like is the community. The community is really tight. Everyone's very cool with each other. It's growing. So there's still a lot of new kinks to work out and stuff that's coming. But the one thing I really like about it is the tightness of the community, because I kind of mentioned it earlier. You don't have to have a Discord to contact your viewers if you're offline, or, I since I was not on Twitch for very long, I don't know all the ways you can contact people other than Discord and really YouTube, but you can just, you're exactly, but you're right there on the page of them. It's literally, it's your Discord, it's your stream site, it's everything all wrapped into one, and everyone's really cool in the community. Plus the reach is pretty darn good. I think I average about 1,000+ reach. Now that doesn't come into views, but knowing that you're getting out in front of that many people per stream is nice. When you can go on Twitch, I don't know what the average, reach is for someone, but you have to be a Twitch person on Twitch to see your stream. Facebook, some random could hop on to go see what their cousin Mary just posted, and then all of a sudden, bam, you pop up just randomly like, hey, you might be interested in this.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then, like you said, the community is great. The platform is really good. It's still evolving and growing. It's got its kinks, but in general, I'm really happy over here. I haven't really considered going anywhere else. It's just follow the rules and you'll be fine. It's like anywhere else. TOS is a thing, and they do keep an eye on it. Don't use any copyrighted music. They will smack you around if you try to, because I had once had my emotes set to like 4-second riffs of funk songs when I had my alerts pop up. And at the end of my stream, it said, you played 11 minutes and 38 seconds of copyrighted music. Your stream is blocked everywhere except Egypt. And I'm like,
dang.
So Egypt has no copyright laws. Good to know. I'm moving. But like, it's kind of one of those things you do have to be a little more careful. Facebook's bigger, but their eyes are also a lot more focused on things. So it's a good platform if you can follow the rules. If you're a little more of a gray liner, you're not going to like it here too much.
Right. Gotcha. Do you think there's anything maybe streamers who are in that position we talked about earlier, where they're torn between what platform to try? Anything they should consider about Facebook, about maybe trying that one?
That's a good question. I feel like it's easier to network on Facebook just because you can see everyone and you're all on Facebook. You can just kind of, if you and another person kind of hit it off in the chat, you can just friend them. It's not like where you have to keep going back to Twitch just to talk to them. Like I said, I have nothing against Twitch. It's just what I've noticed from doing the other platforms and everything, where you can connect with people on deeper levels a lot quicker, which is really kind of nice. But if you're not one of those people that likes to be outgoing and talk to chat all the time, because I'll just be having to get PM'd by random by my followers just to chat or something. I'm totally fine with it as long as they're not crazy. Which every platform has crazy people. Don't think there's. I once was streaming and all of a sudden someone came and was like, "Hey, I'm here to buy the couch," and I'm like, "What?" and then another person came in and said, I heard there's a coach for sale. All of a sudden there's 15 people in my chat going for a coach, and it's a Facebook page that someone started to mess with streamers. But instead of letting you get hit by it, I'm like, okay, we got a couch for sale. It's invisible and it costs you no money. We gotta go for $1. $1 now we gotta go for $2. We got $2. I auctioned off an invisible couch for no money. And they're like, and all they said was, wow, this dude handled it really well, and they were gone. It's like a train in the night. It appeared and it was gone. You're like, okay, so everything has its things. There's no perfect platform, but wherever you feel the most comfortable. It's a plus on Facebook. A lot of people use the real profile, so if they come in and are really rude, you can just go message their mom. Be like, hey, your son's his foul language. You need to wash his mouth out.
All right, there you go, guys. You should choose Facebook because you can publicly shame your followers. You heard it here first.
I've never done it. I'm just saying, it's crossed my mind. Like, this person came and dropped some naughty words. Let's see, what's his mom? Sure. Is his mom 100%. On his friends list?
I would so exploit that. Oh my god.
That's one thing that, like, I've talked a little bit about some things that are interesting about Facebook. The fact that you don't have that anonymity. That's such a hard word to say. Anonymity.
Anonymosity.
Yeah, that word. That's the one. That's kind of interesting. Also, I talk a lot about the fact that Facebook it seems that they're trying to do everything. I mean, they've got the marketplace, they've got the social media, they got the live streaming, they got, you name it, it's on there. And I don't know, I'm just kind of curious if you ever thought about that with Facebook yourself, and kind of like what you think of Facebook gaming's future specifically as a streaming platform.
I think if they can get a little more, they're not very open to the public. Like I was talking about earlier with subscribers, we're waiting to see if they finally let us know, are they rolling out? How do you, when are they saying a new batch of their random selects? They say nothing. You just wake up one day and go, ooh, I got something new. They're getting a little better at it. And like I said, I think they got someone from Twitch that's helping them build their platform better. I think if I heard it correctly, it's only like a 6-month thing. So by the end of the year, it might be over. And if they didn't get stuff out, it could be another Lord knows how long till they get it figured out. But I think if they do it right, they don't rush anything and they don't fall behind at the same time, because Mixer and I don't know so much about D Live. I feel like that's kind of taking when was the last time PewDiePie streamed? I have no idea. But I think D Live's kind of go ahead.
I think he actually streams a decent amount, but still, even with PewDiePie there's negligible hype for that platform anymore.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of people leave Facebook. They're like, we're going to D Live where we can make money. 3 weeks later, guys,
Bitcoin,
we're back
baby.
On Facebook. It's like, okay. But it's the same everywhere. There's really no perfect platform. You find what fits really good for you. But I think that if Facebook doesn't overreach itself too much and is focused on what the community wants, they should be pretty good and a legit platform. I mean, they got the money. Let's be honest.
There you go.
Just like Microsoft, Mixer is going to be a decent platform. They've got the money. They've got the backing. They've got Ninja.
Interesting. All right, we'll have to see how it plays out, and I'll keep an eye on it. You'll be our little resident Facebook streaming expert for now, I think.
It'll be your eyes on the ground, brother. I got you.
All right, I think we are out of questions and calls for now, which is awesome. Oh, actually, British Avenger just snuck on right here the last second.
Ooh.
Let's see if we can get him
right
on.
at the buzzer.
I know, right? He got like 1 minute to get in here. So I'm going to add him on and see what he has to say this week. British, hello, you there?
Yeah, hello.
Hey, man, how's it going?
Going alright. How are you guys doing?
Good. Welcome back to the stream, dude. What do you want to talk about this week?
So, I'm trying to move on to do more 4-hour streams. And, of course, it's very difficult to do that because if you're just so used to doing, like, 1 hour or 2 hour, just like short streams, and you want get into like the longer streams, it's difficult. So
Mhm.
like, how would you practice or like just pair for them longer streams?
Yeah, how do you build up that streaming endurance for those longer streams? I'm gonna throw this to Vel first because I know you've gone through some of your own kind of schedule tweaks for this reason. Isn't that right?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say, before you do stream, for me, I do a couple things. I usually like to watch, YouTube videos, like funny videos. I try to watch some Twitch, but most of the streamers on in the mornings, or at least like in the mornings before I'm on, they tend to be not the most high energy people, at least that I've followed, and I haven't gone out of my way to look for too many more yet. But I watch a lot of videos on YouTube, with like stand-up comedians or something that like, that I really enjoy, and I try to be funny. So if I watch other people be funny, it just makes me want to kind of step it up a little bit more. So I do that. I'll drink my coffee, make sure to hydrate, drink water, try to do things that don't bore you, because if you're bored by the time your stream is about to start, the whole stream is going to be much lower paced and just not as hype and energetic. So drink a lot of coffee, drink water, have a couple snacks, like maybe like a yogurt drink is like what I'll do sometimes in the middle of the stream, like just something really light. But just I don't know, it's tough. If you're not used to it, it's going to be difficult. Because even sometimes the 4-hour streams feels like too much on some days. But just try to have as much fun as you can with it, and just it's tough to prepare for those kind of things if you're really just not used to it.
Sure. Fwosty, have you kind of been through the process of going through longer streams than you're used to?
Yeah, actually, I recently cut back just because of all the stuff that started coming up in my life. But I used to do 3-4 hour streams every weekend. I think actually it was 4, but for me, it really didn't affect me too much. I mean, I just wake up, mainline G Fuel, and then I was no, I'm just kidding. Don't mainline G. I'm joking. Okay, don't do it. But no, I never really ran into that issue because I play with a lot of other people. So if I play a game where I can have fun and I'm not really, I don't get tired of it, the 4 hours flies by. Before I know it, it's like, holy smokes, we got to end it, guys. My wife's gonna yell at me. But have something to drink. Go take breaks if you need to. There's nothing wrong with taking. Hey, I'll be back in 2 minutes. Got to run. Just decompress for a second. Have a desk fan if you get warm. I tell you, that's the best thing I ever purchased. $10 at Amazon. But just if you're not used to it, you build yourself up to go to a 2-hour stream, go to a 3-hour stream. Doing multiple in a day is difficult if you're not used to it, or you're worried about having that endurance. But worst case scenario, middle stream, change games. You don't have to do the same thing for 4 hours. Keep it fresh. Keep yourself having fun. And I'd recommend playing with friends or people that because they can help make the time, just melt away. Yeah. And you're having fun. You guys are just joking around. All of a sudden, I mean, let's be honest. A lot of us were in the Call of Duty days. You'd start playing at 10 p.m. and at 7 a.m. you're like, oh, got to go to school. You're playing with your friends. You're having so much fun. You don't even care about the time anymore. So if it's a game that you can only play for a couple hours and you get kind of burned out, don't try to stream that for a long time.
Right.
But find games, find people you can play with and talk to for hours and just have a blast.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned that, because I've definitely had the experience streaming where you're kind of in the zone, and like you said, you look up and it's been 3 hours and you didn't even realize. MPI, Vel, have you guys been through that too? Yourself?
Yeah, for sure.
And I think it doesn't have to be with like multiplayer games, things like that. It can be anything that you just find something that is for you, and it really just works. Once you find that, it obviously helps, and working out to that can help too. But MPI, do you have any tips for Britt on adjusting your stream schedule and getting used to more hours?
I mean, I think kind of what they both said is helpful. If you're playing multiplayer games, have people to play with, because it's that, if nothing else, if chat's slow that day or there's not a lot of people watching, you've got someone to interact with, and that will keep you going because you're having fun interacting with that person. Other than that, ease into it. Don't one day wake up and go, I'm going to stream for 8 hours every day this week. That's what I did, and it sucked. Ease your way into it. Do a 2-hour stream for a week or two, and then do a 3-hour stream for a week or two. Kind of build up to it, just like you would like you would to run a marathon. Do your smaller runs. Build up to it. Don't be afraid to get up and walk around if you need to. If it's I need to run to the restroom, I need to go refill my water bottle. Even if it's just like step behind and like stretch a little bit, or like do some squats or push-ups, if that helps you stay pumped, like keep yourself moving, because that will help you go longer. If you just sit the entire time, you're going to get tired. You're going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to start to, I hate my chair. It's going to slowly wear on you more than just getting up and stretching will. And I think that's not a bad thing. A lot of people don't want to step away from their stream. They think if they step away, chat's going to fall apart and everyone's going to leave. But I mean, whenever I streamed, 5 or 6 hours a day, I would take a lunch break in the middle of my stream and play music and just step out, make lunch, and come back and eat lunch. And be like, I was gone for 15, 20 minutes, and 9 times out of 10, nobody left. They're going to stay and watch you if they want to watch you, even if you step away. Everyone understands you have to step away.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I like that you mentioned too the idea of I have to stream for 8 hours this whole week, right? I think that happens in a lot of ways, and not just on Twitch. Maybe I feel like I should upload every day on Instagram or YouTube, or with Twitch, I have to stream this many days, this many hours. I think you have to find kind of what works for you, and like you said, work into it. I've seen a lot of people just like you who decide I'm going to stream for 4 hours every day this week. And they get through day one and they're like, I can't do this. I'm going to die. I can't possibly. So working into it is great. And I think you also shouldn't feel like you have to do 4 hours for some reason, because on paper, like, this is what most people are doing and it works. It's going to be different for each person. Just like on YouTube, you're going to grow differently based on your type of content and what you're uploading. So it's just a matter of kind of finding what works for you and easing into it for sure. So.
And I think switching games is really helpful. If you're, and you don't always have to switch games, but if you're setting down and saying, I'm going to stream for 4 hours today, and you're trying to really keep yourself on that, and you get halfway through your stream and maybe you've been having a rough day and losing a lot of games, or there's bad connection in the game that day, they're having server issues, and you're just like, man, I can't do this for another 2 hours. I'll play something else for the next 2 hours. Play something a little bit more, upbeat or lighthearted. It doesn't always have to be like a competitive game or the same game all day, every day. Because if you get bored, you're not going to want to keep doing it. So I always tried to start with like an hour or so of the same game, like Dead by Daylight is my go-to. I'd play that for like an hour or so, and then I would move on to whatever story-based game I'm playing that week.
Right.
So it helps keep it fresh for you.
Gotcha. Cool. British, thank you for calling in, dude. We got to wrap it up since we're at the end here, but thanks so much, dude. Hopefully this helps you.
Yeah, really good help. We'll see you guys next week.
See you, man. Thanks for calling in. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining the show. Let's go around and kind of wrap up here. Throw this to MPI first. Anything you want to say of where people should find you, stuff they should know?
Yeah, so I'm still on a hiatus from streaming just because I've got a lot of stuff going on. I've got a wedding in less than a month, doing some freelance stuff and kind of building that up, as well as YouTube. You can follow me on all the social media platforms. I changed it. It is now at the Spencer SB, so my name basically. You can follow me there. If you want to follow me on Twitch, it's still Mr. Pure Instinct. I'm not changing it. I'm leaving it. So that will stay the same. If you want to follow me on YouTube, subscribe to me on YouTube. I keep forgetting that it's not follow over there. It is subscribe over there. You can. It's the same thing as social media. It's the Spencer SB. So that's where I've kind of been putting a lot of content, is out on YouTube. But I'm working on a date to come back to Twitch, so keep an eye out for that. But it's still a little bit away. It's going to be at least after my wedding for sure.
Gotcha. Cool, man. Go check him out, guys, if you haven't already. Next up, BigFwosty. Where can people find you, and anything that you want to plug?
I'm at BigFwosty on Twitter and Instagram, but obviously my main platform is facebook.com/BigFwosty. I'm actually going live after this if anyone's curious to see what this newfangled Facebook streaming is all about. Dag nabbit. But basically everything I do is mostly through Facebook. So either that or fb.gg/BigFwosty. It's all the same thing. And that's where most of my stuff comes, and occasional Instagrams and Twitters. But other than that, it's the world over there. And I really appreciate you having me on today. It was an absolute blast coming on and being able to be part of one of the podcasts I've been listening to for so long.
I love that we're getting people who've been listening for a while. It's so cool now. Thanks for being on, dude. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And last but not least, Veli, you know the drill.
I'm Belloc_TV on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, even though I don't really use it. Belloc Space TV, I think, on YouTube. And that's where I have a bunch of videos that Green Cord actually edits for me. They're really great. You should check them out, and you should also come by and check out the stream. It's fun, I think.
You think? Not quite sure. Hopefully.
I'm shooting for fun.
Yep, gotcha. All right, guys. I'm Green Cord from TRUgaming. Again, if you guys are watching live, please make sure to check us out on podcast platforms like Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Player FM, Google Podcasts, all that stuff. It's out there. Just search for Stream Key or Twitch. You should find us. And for those of you listening now on the podcast, a couple quick things. First of all, I don't think I mentioned this usually, but the live show is on Fridays at 11 a.m. If you want to come out to the live show and ask a question, we'd love to have you. Secondly, if you can't get to the live show, but you are a big listener of the show, please follow us on Twitter or Discord, and you can actually submit your questions and topics there, which we'll bring up on the show the next week. We usually get those right in the next week. So if you'd like to do that, we'd be happy to have you. Also, if you do listen to a podcast platform like iTunes or Stitcher, we'd love to have you leave us a review and let us know how we're doing. That would help us out a lot. Thank you guys for watching. We will catch you next week with more stuff, Stream Key, more news, all that goodness. Until then, hope you guys have a good week. And as always, blaze up.
Blaze up.
Blaze up.
Your dab. Blaze up.
Yep. I want to get it synced someday. Yeah. See you guys.
No.